All right. I am pleased to be bringing you the finals for Division E of the AOE League's 1v1 tournament. We have a best of 3 set here between TrickyMicky and Marts. So they'll play game 1 on Arabia, game 2 on the loser of game 1's map, and game 3 will be on the other player's home map. So home map for Tricky is Steppe, I believe, which has been his home map throughout the season. That's the format in this tournament. And the home map for Marts is Enclosed. So looking at the Civ draft here real quickly, we've got Franks and Mayans banned by Tricky, Mongols and Lith banned by Marts. And that one makes sense since Tricky has been hamming the Mongols pretty hard on Steppe throughout this season. And then it looks like a Britons and Berbers snipe against Tricky and a Bulgarians Magyars snipe against Marts. So yeah, Tricky will have Aztecs, Hindustanis, Japanese up against Chinese, Saracens, Incas. So boy, yeah, not. I think Japanese, that'll be for Enclosed. And then, yeah, probably a toss-up between Hindustanis and Aztecs for Arabia and Steppe. On the other side, boy, I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all. I'm maybe Chinese for Enclosed, and then Saracens and Incas for Steppe and for Arabia. Any case, let's jump in to the action here. Game 1, Arabia. Let's go. All right, so we got Marts in the north with Incas. So there's the Incas pick up against Aztecs. We've got Meso v Meso battle here. TrickyMicky, I like this map to open. 3 good wood lines. Gold's a bit forward, but you can certainly put the production buildings out in front of that. And yeah, that map's pretty wallable, right? Maybe wall to the TC here. Wall to the TC there. Wall out in front of the gold. And then, you know, wall back in here. Solid map. Over here on the other side for Marts. Yeah, the wood lines are a little, they look a little sparser, but still a decent map. The gold is way out there though. Don't like that much. All right. Yeah, so how do they play this? How do they play this? Yeah, probably guessing we will probably see men-at-arms from both players. Men-at-arms from Aztecs, because that's pretty standard to see. And I imagine Aztecs from Incas, precisely because the Incas player will be expecting men-at-arms from Aztecs. So that could certainly be the play here. And then, do we see both players try to transition into Eagles in Castle Age? Or do we see Incas? I would expect Aztecs to try to transition into Eagles here. But Incas, yeah, maybe they'll stick with the Archer option. It's a pretty standard looking builds here at the moment for the 2 players. For Archers, no idle TC time. Things are looking pretty good. What's the scouting intel looking like here? Marts with some really nice scouting of his base. So he's located, yeah, all 3 of his, almost located all 3 of his golds at this point. So yeah, opting to scout the area around his base over pushing deer or scouting out his enemy. Yep, and there he is, located the 3rd gold. Let's take a look at Tricky scouting here. All right, so Tricky just now coming into Marts' base. Notices the house, notices the primary gold. Avoiding the TC. Oh, here we go. Okay, so Marts is looking to lure some deer. Let's see if Tricky tries to interfere with this. Looks like he's going to. Marts notices he's on the ball. Nice micro by both the players. Marts trying to take that high ground. Tricky preventing him from taking it. And yeah, so Marts still hasn't gone to scout out Tricky here. Expect him to go out here pretty soon to see if that barracks is indeed coming down and if it's going to be men-at-arms. Right, there are other options with Aztecs as well. You could certainly drush with them. This is honestly almost a map. Yeah, I probably won't risk it, but you could almost think about a drush FC into Eagle spam. A map like this. Alright, there comes the barracks from Marts. So yeah, definitely looking like men-at-arms for him. And what about for Tricky? 18 seconds of idle time for Tricky, so yeah, some idle time came up at one point. Maybe when he was microing the Eagle against the other Eagle. And that'll cost him. I mean, 18 seconds, that's almost a villager worth of idle time. So you can see Tricky down almost a villager at this point. Now, Aztecs do have an excellent eco, and that good eco can cover a multitude of sins. But yeah, no barracks coming down here for Tricky. So is this going to be straight archers? If so, Tricky could be in a lot of trouble because Men-at-Arms could push him off that gold once he's able to pre-wall that. Yeah, this is looking like straight archers. We've got 22 pop. Yeah, looking like 22 pop archers here. It's our first militia. Mart's locating the base. What's more, he's locating that gold first. And he's going to see the barracks just now coming up, so he's going to know this is not men-at-arms. Those men-at-arms of his are going to go immediately to pressure Tricky's wood. Tricky's gold. This is also interesting. Tricky has 8 lumberjacks on 1 lumber camp, which is not that uncommon when you're playing men-at-arms, but in this case, playing straight archers, a little bit more unusual. Look at this. We got Vills going forward. So this is going to be men-at-arms and towers. Right, Incas used to be really known for towers. A little less prevalent these days after few nerfs, but still a great civ to tower rush with here. 4 Vills coming forward, men-at-arms. Tricky could be in a lot of... Ooh, look at this. Okay, Tricky is going for men-at-arms after all. Just a bit delayed there with the barracks. Men-at-arms upgrade not coming in, though. It'll be in for Marts and not for Tricky. So this should be a really good trade for Marts. Yeah, this will be a really good trade for Marts. Tricky sees the tower coming in. He quick walls in those Vills. But the problem is... the tower... Yeah, what do you do here if you're Tricky? Where's his secondary gold? I guess you could take gold here. Does have safe stone in the back. Yeah, he's gonna leave that gold. This is already looking very, very good here for Marts. Yeah, a bit of a panic range there for Tricky. Let's see if the men-at-arms go to try to pressure the other gold in. Yeah, look at this. Tower chain already beginning here. Tricky trying to drop a defensive tower. Men-at-arm come in, think better of it. They don't want to eat TC fire here. Garrison the TC. Alright, he does. Yeah, both these towers should go up. No fletching in for either player. Ooh, look at this. Let's see if the men-at-arms locate that gold. Right, Tricky gets 1 archer out. He's going to lose that archer. Ooh, I like this. All right, Tricky coming forward to rush down the tower. That's a good move because this tower... I think this was a mistake by Marts. This tower should have been a little closer over. It's not within range of the first tower, so... Marts is going to lose that tower. Nice quick walls here by Tricky. So for now, he's going to be able to maintain access to gold. And what's the Vil count looking like right now? 5 to 2 KD there for Marts. Plus 48 seconds of idle time for Tricky. So he's down actually only 1 villager at this point. Really no military on the field for either player apart from the men-at-arms. There's 1 archer. But no fletching here. that's a nice tower by Marts. Look at that. Oh, Tricky sniffing it out, though. Going forward with the villager. No fletching, though. So this archer is going to be rather ineffective. And yeah, Marts can just fight with the villager. But look at this. 2 archers in a skirm coming out. I don't think it's enough to deny this, though. I think Tricky might just want to send these vills. Try to rush that tower down. Use the archers and the skirms to engage with that archer. Yeah, the men-at-arms are in now, though. Tricky's in a lot of trouble. A lot more idle time during that whole engagement. Yeah, he's rushing it down, but I think this is a little too late. I think he should have rushed this down a bit sooner. Should have rushed it down before it went up, and then he would have the military advantage. Doesn't have it now, and he's going to take losses here. I don't even know if he's going to get this down. And what's worse is he's losing his archers to the tower. Yeah, not good at all. 8 vil lead now for Marts. Military advantage as well. Tower is beginning to surround Tricky. Tricky off both his primary and secondary gold. Trying to rush down a market here. I think he wants to use that to try to purchase stone because he's now going to be off of stone as well. Fletching in for Marts. Yeah, Tricky he's toast, I think. I do not see how he survives this. Has a couple skirms out, but no armor, no fletching on those skirms. 10 vil lead now for Marts at this point. Where do you go here if you're Tricky? Marts looking to get another tower here. Cut off access to that wood line for Tricky. This wood line's already compromised by both those towers. So with that tower, Tricky's going to have only this one wood line. No stone, no gold. Yeah, man, it just feels like by this point, Mart has established too strong of a foothold. Tricky has a decent little food eco here. Ooh, look at this. These skirms actually are not... Oh no, he's sending them forward. Yeah, it looked like they weren't being ranged by this tower when they were camped back here. Yeah, I think should have just kept them there. Although then maybe the villagers would have rushed him down. Alright, Mart's starting to stabilize his eco back at home. It's looking pretty nice. 14 farms. So he's also going to be the first one up to Castle Age of the two. Tricky sending the boys, but I do think he needed to do this sooner. That foothold is established, and now he's just going to take 2 heavy losses. Although getting a decent little trade there against the skirmishers. Can he clean all this? I mean, Marts doesn't really have any military on the field to speak of anymore. Yeah, Tricky will clean these 2 towers. But there's still the economy problem behind this. Even if these towers are gone, they both only have 3 military on the field. Marts has a much better economy at home. Will certainly be the first up to Castle Age. Yeah. Alright, Marts now trying to encircle the TC with house walls, but only gets the 1 house down, so that tower's going to go down as well. Really nice push here by Tricky. Give himself some breathing room. And let's see how fast he can get himself up, or does he try to go full feudal here? I mean, he doesn't have gold though. You can't do damage with skirms. Doesn't have any archers at the moment. I think by the time he has an archer mass that's going to be able to do much of anything, feels like Marts is already going to be up. But Marts knows that army's coming in. He's trying to drop a tower in defense to get some defensive skirms. you're Tricky, you gotta push immediately with those units. Time is absolutely of the essence. Oh gosh, I didn't even notice this. Another tower by Marts. Yeah, Tricky ram this one down as well. Yeah, I think if we had seen this kind of reaction from Tricky earlier, he'd be in a much better spot at this point. Look at that, on the way to castle. Tricky can't even think about castle right now. Yeah, Tricky's noticed the success of this, so he's going to try it up here. But the problem is this one is well protected, both by military units and by house walls. So Tricky's going to lose yet more villagers here. Oof. I do not like that attempt. Just leave that tower. You don't really need to clean it yet. You do have access to gold. Oh, I don't know when Tricky went out there, but yeah, he is mining gold off in Neverland. Trying to stabilize his economy here a little bit. But yeah, Castle Age still a long ways off. And look at this, these vills continuing to be an absolute pest. I'm not sure why Marts isn't palisade walling those in. They keep getting rushed down like this. Just drop the forced palisades around them. March is going to lose this tower. He's also going to lose those 2 villagers. Tricky's going to make sure he gets them this time. Offensive tower coming down here for Tricky. Problem is the villagers are being ranged. Alright, yeah, I think we're going to see March drop some offensive siege here. Get a siege workshop. And finish this game off with mangonels. Yeah, there it is. He's also going 3 barracks eagles, so we're going to see eagle mangonel push here. And there's absolutely nothing Tricky's going to be able to do to deal with this. Absolutely nothing. Look at this though. Tricky is about to click up. This tower's going down. Tricky's going to see the siege workshop. Look at this, though. The mango already at 70%. It's going to be up against 6 feudal archers. And there's these eagles to deal with. Nice micro here by both players. Nice micro by Tricky. Avoiding the mangonel fire, but he's not going to get that mango in time. Marts comes in to repair it. Eagles clean the archers. All that's left for Tricky are a few skirms. Trying to add another tower here to buy a little bit of breathing room. Try to delay the mangonels until he can get to Castle Age. Yeah, look at that, already 2 mangonels on the field here. Oh, and the eagles are going to get in just before Tricky's able to finish that wall. Unless maybe drops a gate. Can he drop a gate in time? Ooh. Nice. Nicely done. Alright, the eagles will go around, but it's giving Tricky the time to wall in the gold. The eagles raiding all over the place. 14 villager lead here for Marts. Tricky will be up, but there's not going to be much that he's going to be able to do once he gets up. Still has only the 1 barracks. Three mangonels on the field for Marts. This is really well played by Marts. Really well played. Yeah, I think we're going to see the GG here. It is a tournament final, so I think Tricky's going to fight until he's absolutely certain that he's dead. But I think this is what absolutely certain that you're dead looks like. Well played there by Marts. Very well played. Extremely healthy KD there, 50 to 19. Nice eco behind it as well. 3k more res collected than Tricky, which is not a surprise. Tricky was under pressure the entire time. And then, of course, the faster castle time with the mangonels to finish that game off. All right, game number 1 goes to Marts. So with that, we go to Tricky's home map, which is Steppe, I believe. Let's see if we can find it here. All right. Game number 2. See if Tricky can even this series up. Take it to game 3 decider. All right, Tricky, Hindustani's getting that TC down immediately. Yeah, kind of unfortunate generation for him, so it's not really next to any resources immediately. Gold's over here, right? I think maybe a TC up by the berries, TC here by the gold and the trees would probably be preferable for position, but Tricky doesn't want any idle time, wants to get that thing up right away. That's understandable. On the other side, Marts playing as the Chinese, doing the same thing, dropping that TC immediately. And this is interesting. All 3 of his golds in one spot here. Now, that could be both a blessing and a curse. Could be a blessing because, you know, with just one TC there, right, you can control quite a bit of that area. But that's also a very vulnerable area that Tricky might be able to pressure and feudal. And if he pushes Marts away from that, it's get pretty ugly pretty quickly. So, yeah, what are we going to see here? Hindustani's. I'm guessing we see Tricky open scouts here. And we'll probably be able to have a slightly better uptime than Chinese. It's a little awkward, too, with this relic. It's kind of getting in the way of some of the food collection, at least when the sheep are over on that side of the TC. I think we'll probably see, I mean, you know, Chinese are super versatile. Maybe it's just as likely we see scouts as we see archers. But let's see here how many Marts decides to put on the wood. Only 3. Okay, so Marts is thinking scouts. It's like Tricky is thinking scouts. And Tricky already moving out to drop his first mill by the deer. Yeah, I mean, probably doesn't have all this scouted yet, but I think ideal mill would actually be one like up here. So you can have access to both those herds or flocks of deer, whatever the proper term is. And maybe even access that third herd as well. Hunt. Yeah. All right, a little bit of idle time there for Marts, 19 seconds, but he's Chinese, so that's expected. And being Chinese still has a villager lead over Tricky. All right, bringing in boar number 2. What's the scouting look like for the 2 players? Yeah, nice scouting here by Tricky. You got to remember the field of view on these little horses a lot worse than with your regular scout. And yeah, let's see if Marts locates this mill here for Tricky. Because that's a natural point of first attack from Feudal Age. And hasn't located it yet. All right, massive food advantage here for Tricky, although part of that's because Marts has 3 vills queued up. I do think we see Hindustani's get up first here. Especially with Tricky being out on the hunt like he is. Look at that. Clicking up. 19 pop build here for Tricky. That's a really nice build. Yeah, I believe the elos for these 2 players, yeah, they're somewhere in that 1150 to 1300, maybe all the way up to 1350 range. I believe Marts has maybe 100 or 150 elo points over Tricky going in, but both of them have had a good regular season. All right, so Tricky halfway up, 10 vills on this lumber camp. But the food income, that'll come from the hunt here. And not queuing anything up there, so there's going to be straight scouts from both these players. Marts up 23 pop, but remember, Chinese 23 pop is faster than a normal 23 pop. He'll only be about 40 seconds, 45 seconds behind Tricky. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, he's going to gold. Okay, no, men-at-arms. Interesting. Okay, so men-at-arms will have the option to try to push Tricky off of the hunt. But I think if Tricky's fighting with both villagers and a few scouts, should be able to clean that without too much trouble. He's only going with 2. I guess he's only going with 2, so that'll be all the easier for Tricky to be able to deal with. All right, first scout has just started production here. Alright, here come the militia. How does Tricky react? No men-at-arms upgrade coming in from Marts, so Marts wants to just stick with the 2 militia drush. A little bit of a late drush, though, for just 2 militia. Yeah, nice reaction there by Tricky. Nice micro by Marts as well, moving those units away. Ooh, spear here from Marts. That's a nice addition. Yeah, as soon as he located that stable, brought a spear out, so Tricky's going to lose that scout. Bill should be able to clean this, and it should be able to clean it actually without any losses if Tricky's able to micro this well. Alright, got 1 scout going here forward here for Tricky. Is he going to try to jump on this Bill? Yes, he will. See how Marts responds. Yeah, he's going to try to trap that scout in there. Yeah, she stays alive. Nice attack there by Tricky. 1 militia down. Ooh, look at that. Mart's going for the block with the horse. Tricky needs to get the other vills in the action here. Alright, scout comes out. Scout will kill the horse and will clean that last militia, I believe. Alright, now we got a 2 range follow-up here from Marts. No fletching in yet. No blacksmith in yet. Also interesting is Marts actually never went out for the hunt. But already has 8 farms behind this. Tricky doesn't have any farms. That's fine in the short term. Because you got the food income from the hunt. But when that hunt starts to dry out, it can make for a really harsh transition when you don't have enough farms. And yeah, Marts with nice small walls protecting his resources, so I think I favor Marts' position here. Having spears and archers up against just 3 scouts here. Oh, there's a hole, but this is actually probably good for Marts. The scouts are trapped, bills will clean. I think that was a mistake there by Tricky diving in. Alright, so Tricky's down to 1 scout. This unit here, up against 4 archers, 1 skirm, and 1 spear. And yeah, I think we'll have fletching coming in here from Marts as well. Just now getting double bit. Tricky has had double bit and horse collar. And here comes the stable. He's going to go for skirms. Already on gold, so maybe thinking of adding archers in as well and starting to drop those farms. So yeah, I think I slightly favor Marts' position here, but this is a very winnable game still here for Tricky. 2 scouts, but it's going to lose another one to a spear here. It's a couple scouts Tricky's giving away for free to spears. Going to lose another one here. So yeah, these scouts really have not gotten good value at all. Tricky's going to continue to produce. 1 scout on the field, another one in the queue, bringing the skirms forward. No fletching for either player, and at the moment, both are choosing to play this pretty defensively. Alright, fletching on the way for Tricky. 21 on food. Yeah, that's the thing though. Like these scouts, they were getting better value. I mean, if Tricky had kind of kept all those numbers, he'd have a massive 8 scouts by now. But I think if he hadn't produced those, he could already be sniffing Castle Age at this point. Right, look at this. Marts dropping a very early anticipatory defensive tower. Seems maybe a little bit of a mistake to me, just because he has a military advantage right now, but I think he noticed exactly what we noticed when we started this game, which is the fact that all 3 of those goals are really, really close together. Alright, Tricky is indeed pressuring right on the spot. Loses yet another scout here. Still has 3 on the field. Ooh, back here, okay. It's a villager, a second villager. A nice double-pronged attack there, and I think Marts just noticed. He was so preoccupied here on the front. Tricky's going to lose those as well, though. Continuing to produce scouts. I do. Great food eco, but I'm not sure exactly why Tricky's producing as many scouts as he is. It's because the enemy has skirms on the field. Tricky's got skirms of his own. And those skirms aren't an offensive unit. I think he definitely would be better off investing that food into a better Castle Age time. But he's going to have a great Castle Age time anyway. Diving in with a few scouts again. Going to deny... Is that a third range? Yeah, third range here for March. Maybe he was thinking about Cav Archer and Castle Age. Got a skirm engagement out in the front. Scouts running around in the back. Tricky continuing to produce, going all in on this feudal, getting upgrades, producing additional scouts, additional skirms. Stable come down here from Marts. He wants to deal with the skirms. Both players with fletching and with the armor upgrade, and that's a great engagement there for Tricky. This game is a mess. I do think, though, Tricky should just get up. I think he should get up. Yeah, Mart's selling some wood, trying to balance that eco out. These spears have been doing so much work for Marts. So much work. Alright, Tricky has clicked. And how far is Marts? Marts isn't too far off. But he's keeping the production going on the skirms there and is adding scouts. So his time is going to be very, very delayed. That's a good scout, though. He's going to get, very least, push Tricky's army all the way back to his base. Tricky looking to add an additional stable, thinking not knights, Hindustani, so you can only produce camels. Okay. Tricky still has a minute and a half to go, and the pressure's going to be on now. He's got scouts, skirms, archers. Look at that micro by Marts. Dodging the spear. Keeping that scout alive with 2 HP. And suddenly Tricky is in a little bit of a rough spot. He's not walled. He's got 2 military units. I think you just drop a defensive tower. As long as he can delay a little bit, he's going to win this. At least win this engagement. I don't know about the game, but I think he needs to drop that tower. It just needs time. Too late now, though. Ooh. There are a lot of skirms in there, so it's pretty low damage output, but gonna be a lot of idle time here for Tricky. Look at how much food and gold he has. I think he can survive off gold here for a bit. Not sure why he's not garrisoning. Oh, okay, he is heading back now to garrison those units. 2 camels being produced. This is interesting. I thought he would go for +2 armor. He's actually going for Bodkin first. Why Bodkin here? He wants it for the skirmishers, but I think he'd be better off putting that toward the +2 armor. Get the clean here with the camels. All right, gonna get the +2 armor as well, and he will clear this up, so that'll be good for him. Look at this though, Marts, only 30 seconds from Castle H himself. 2 ranges, 1 stable. So it's gonna be 2 range expo with knights, 2 range expo with camels here for Chinese. All right, Marts only 10 military on the field, Tricky 13. Pretty even Vil numbers. So it's an extremely messy Feudal Age, but everything's balanced out here in Castle Age. Alright, so we're looking at... we got 8 skirms. But given the Bodkin upgrade, that makes me think Tricky might want to go into Elite Skirm here. I don't think he would invest in Bodkin if he didn't want to go in that direction. A little bit of an advancement here by Marts. 8 Expo. He might be able to get some kills here on the villagers. Yeah, gets 1 there for Tricky. Tricky's going to have to run with the others. Tricky's going to send his skirms to try to deal with that since his camel's forward. Looks like a good engagement here for Tricky. Could even pinch these Expo. 2 TCs up now for both players. And yeah, I like that TC. That protects that gold, gives them access to additional wood. University coming down here from Marts, so I think he's going to want to stick with the Expo and go with ballistics here. Ooh, nice quick wall there by Marts. Gets it in just in time, but he's going to close that up. Tricky's going to avoid it anyway. It's a nice little raid as long as Tricky doesn't get stuck back there, which he shouldn't, because that is open on the left. Alright, yeah, here comes Elite Skirm for Tricky on the other side. Yeah, Mart's just staying with Expo, but I like what Tricky's doing here. He's keeping the aggression forward, forcing the Expo to play defensively. Not a position you want to be in as the Archer player, with how immobile those units are. I think Mart's might be better off to just counterattack here. Doesn't have siege in his face. Has 2 TCs to protect villagers, so I think he needs to counterattack, and that looks like what he's going to try to do here. I like this wall here by Tricky. That's nice. Keep you safe from a sneak attack. If you can complete that wall as well, he'll be in a good position. But this university... Oh, no! Tricky's got Vils out in the open. Marts hasn't noticed yet. Alright, notices now. 1 Vil down. Probably be a few more. And that university will be denied as well. Tricky's coming back to try to clean this with his camels. Yeah, look at that. Tricky on stone. So he's thinking... castle drop here. Manages to get the clean. And what is Marts left with for military here? Yeah, just Expo. There's Elite Skirm, so Tricky's in a great defensive position. And if he does indeed want to come forward with the castle, he'll probably have the military numbers to do it. Ooh, look at this. Camels diving under the TC. Not a great move there for Tricky, I don't think. Camels can't take that much fire under the TC. A night edition here for Marts. Attacking some skirms. There is 1 camel to try to counter those. And yeah, I think Tricky's definitely going to want to get ballistics. That's probably what he was going for when he had that university denied. University's up. Just needs a little bit more wood. Yep, there it is. Okay. Ballistics on the way. That's going to make these skirms so much more effective, as you can see. Expo walking around, just dodging every shot. Defensive Siege Workshop here for Marts. Again, I think if you're Tricky, that's a good sign. That means that you've got the opponent on the back foot. They're looking to play defensively. That stone count getting really close. Oh man, with the 3 golds like this, imagine a castle like right here. That's game over. That would be game over. All right, stone is in. Tricky's gonna play it safe. Come on, Tricky. Don't play it safe. Go forward. Your opponent's just got a few expo. Ooh, okay. Yeah, maybe it makes sense with the mangonel on the field.
Oh.
Fill numbers still pretty equal. Military numbers pretty close as well. Alright, yeah. What happens next year if you're Marts? Just gonna try to get up. Doesn't have any stone, doesn't have anyone on stone, so can't really think about getting in a treb war here. Bringing the mangonel forward. Can he get a good shot in here? He's gonna try for it. He's gonna try for it. The problem is there's these camels. The camels should be able to clean this, no problem. Now look at the difference the ballistics made on those skirms too. Skirm gets great shots in. 1 mangonel down, 2nd mangonel down. Castle is up. TrickyMicky still, his army's still alive. What on earth do you do here if you're Marts? Gotta just think somehow about counterattacking. Look at the walling here by Tricky. Gonna be really secure at home. That is what he's worried about, is that counterattack. And Tricky's... yeah, who's gonna go up first? Both these players are gonna click up at pretty similar times. Looking like that's the goal for both players at this point, is just to get to the next stage. Alright, Tricky actually selling his... using his food to buy his TC upgrade, so actually he's not in as much of a hurry as we thought. So March should be able to click up first here. Since he doesn't have a castle of his own, he's going to have to think about rams. He's going to stone, but... maybe rams, or... oh yeah, you're Chinese. Don't have access to bombard cannon. One of the unfortunate things about Chinese. Yeah, I think he's going to have to think rams. Alright, Tricky looking to raid with some light cav here. +2 armor on those bad boys. He's clicked up as well, so only 30 seconds behind Marts. Be a decent little raid here for Tricky. There are camels there for Marts, so she'll be able to clean this pretty quickly. Will be some idle time there, no doubt. Still though, the villager count. Oh, how'd these guys sneak in? Oh, okay, this wall wasn't completed yet. That'll be an easy clean there for Tricky. I'll have no problem cleaning this. He has those camels, some additional camels back there. And it looks like Tricky is thinking, he's got 35 farms, adding more and more stables. He's thinking of just light cav raiding Marts to death here. See if these villas come forward. Get a gate down before try to pinch those camels. Alright, yeah, so Tricky's gonna be able to... I mean, that's the thing. Without a castle here for Chinese, they're gonna have to go rams. That's gonna take some time to mass, since ram production hasn't already started. Tricky's gonna have more than enough time. Oh. Ooh, adding some gulam into the mix. Thing is, though, Marts is... looks like sticking with the camels now, so the gulam won't be nearly as effective as they would have been if Marts was sticking with ranged units. But, yeah, Tricky. Have plenty of time to get trebs out. And I just don't know what Marts is supposed to do to try to engage those Trebs. Not gonna have the army to dive into the castle on those Trebs. And here come the raids. Some Gulam running in here, some light cav running in there. The camels are gonna have to go clean that. This looks great for TrickyMicky. Light cav getting some great raids back here. Look at this. Devastation right now. Marts all of a sudden 13 bills down on his opponent. Treb is about to come out. He's getting raided everywhere. Tricky's raiding here. He's raiding back there. This has snowballed very quickly all of a sudden. 20 villager lead. The Treb is out. TC's going down. This is game. Heavy camel for Marts. So that is quite an investment. I think he was really worried about the camels. From Tricky. And actually will be able to clean this because Tricky just threw all his army into that raid. Which I still think was probably a good raid, but now he's looking at just skirms up against heavy camel. He's gonna lose a second Treb. He's gonna have a castle denied. Actually looking a little dicey here for Tricky. Doesn't have the right military on the field. Alright, now this castle will go up. He's got an Hussar now. Still some healthy skirm numbers, but this has bought some time for Marts. Able to get a castle of his own. Gonna get some Trebs of his own out. But he's now 35 villagers behind. My idol's back there as well. See the TC idle time about twice as much for Marts. Certainly looking like we're going to go to a decider game in this set. Lone villager probably was going out to build an outpost. Killed by one of the gloom. Oh, alright, here we go. Treb coming forward. Let's see if Tricky can get some units that can deal with the heavy camel to protect those Trebs, because that's what he needs right now. And he's trickling these Hussar into Marts' base, but they're just getting intercepted by the castles and clean. He really needs to work on massing his units before sending him in. Alright, 3 Trebs out. Keep him alive. I mean, this castle goes down, and what gold access does Marts have anymore? Once that castle is down, this is a wrap. Yeah, look at this. Tricky coming forward for some additional stone. Big military lead. 40 vil lead. 20 military lead. I would like to see him with some more units here. These Trebs just feel so vulnerable right now. Another great castle. So Marts is going to be just completely pinned into this area. And with that, the castle is down. And there's the GG called. Marts knows it. Without that castle, he's got no access to the gold. And without that gold, this game is a wrap. Very, very nicely played game there by Tricky. Yeah, pretty comparable KDs, but map control was, I think, the story of that game, much more so than the military engagements themselves. Tricky also with a much better eco. All the pressure was on Marts that time, unlike game 1, when the situation was reversed. The faster castle time certainly was an advantage there for Tricky, though I think he could have been up way before that. I think the number of scouts he made was probably a mistake that game. Just didn't get enough value out of those. Okay. Decider game. Game 3. The home map for Marts enclosed. And we will have Japanese for TrickyMicky versus Saracens for Marts. So yeah, Japanese on this map. Having the cheaper mills, cheaper lumber camp, pretty nice little advantage, but Saracens, the opportunity to use that market abuse to get up quickly and break through your opponent's walls. That could be pretty devastating. But yeah, this map, it's got some similarities with Hideout in terms of the basic structure, where you've got this wood line separating you and your opponent. However, you don't start with palisade walls, you start in a smaller area. And a lot of your resources are outside of those walls, right? You got to cut out here to get golden berries. And what's more, you can't wall this little road in the middle. So there's no way to build a wall across from one edge to the another. So a map that definitely rewards aggression much more so than Hideout. Yeah, we'll see how they play this. Wouldn't be surprised to see men-at-arms here from Tricky, the Japanese player. As for Saracens, I mean, certainly could go men-at-arms. But maybe we just see straight archers. I can imagine some players thinking it's just too far of a distance to travel all the way around that wood line. That by the time men-at-arms get there, archers will already be on the field. Where is Tricky's scout at the moment? Okay, coming here to locate his opponent's base. Alright, he's located the berries. Yeah, notice you've got 2 patches of berries here as well, so that's another advantage for Japanese. Having those cheaper mills. You're going to want to make multiple mills. Yeah, there's a third one. Located the deer. Is he going to see the scout? Not quite. They just miss each other. But Tricky knows exactly where he wants to attack now. He's located the berries, although didn't see the gold. That'd be a nice thing to notice. Uncooperative deer there from Marts. I don't think there's anything in Age of Empires that tilts me quite as much as uncooperative deer. And there's a lot of things to get tilted about in this game. But I think, for me, that honestly does it more than anything else. That's a nice mill. Take the berries, also mill the deer from it. Right, Tricky losing some HP here, so that's an advantage for Marts. If Tricky is thinking men-at-arms. Interesting. Mill there. 4 deer. I think he put it on the berries, and you can always hunt the deer from the berries, but you're Japanese. Those are cheaper. I think all my normal judgments about mills are based on the normal 100 wood price. That probably is justifiable. Alright. Tricky's still being chased by Marts here. Tricky needs to be careful not to... I mean, if he is thinking men-at-arms or dress here, he's going to want to be careful not to reveal his barracks to his opponent. So maybe he just gives him the runaround for a while here. Alright, yeah, here comes the barracks. So this is definitely looking like men-at-arms. Okay, and that's good for Tricky. Mart's actually heading the other way, so it doesn't scout out the barracks. Do we have a barracks on this side? No, not yet. So maybe just straight archers here from Marts. Where's Tricky? Take gold. Yeah, takes gold there. Yeah, for Marts taking gold here. Almost think about, depending how the game develops, but almost think about pre-tower on this little hill. Protect both the gold and the berries. You'll see. Okay, Marts, he'll be the first one up. 21 pop up. Does he go to gold here? It's a scout's play. Interesting. 7 on wood at the moment, getting a second lumber camp. Ooh, I don't think I like that lumber camp. Here's my beef with it. Archers get here, they can range that wood. I think you're much better off putting it somewhere like that. Right? Because this is an easy area to wall off, so you can prevent units from coming in there. I don't like that lumber camp. Alright, indeed it is men-at-arms. 3 of them. Marts is going to scout it out just in time here. Yeah, let's see if he's able to track those men-at-arms as they proceed to his base. Did he notice? He's actually not looking for him and taking a little bit of an unfortunate fight there against the scout. Still not on gold here, so Marts is going scouts. Gotta be going scouts here, right? Men-at-arms are gonna be, could be a little bit of a, certainly be a little bit of a problem for him here. Oh no! Oh no! Marts forgot his barracks. Disaster. Oh, absolute disaster. So that's even gonna further delay the scouts by a lot. These men-at-arms at least provided that tricky upgrades. Yeah, upgrades the men-at-arms. Men-at-arms could be a real problem. Stone here for Marts as well. Oh, is he gonna get this denied? Oh no. The Saracen market, trying to get that early market, 94%. It's a doubt market. It's a doubt market. He's trying to build it. Oh, he wants it so bad to get that crazy uptime. 96.6%. Absolute disaster right now. Okay, is going double range. He has no gold. Loses a Ville. Oh my goodness. It's a little bit Titanic right now for Marts. And the men-at-arms are actually going to go for the market. What other ship would you do that on? Only when you're against Saracens that do you prioritize the market over the mill. Yeah, double range follow-up here for Tricky. On gold and... yeah, your Marts here, you gotta fight this with skirms. You gotta deal with these aren't just men-at-arms, they're Japanese men-at-arms, faster attacking. Oh, Marts is really gonna have to crawl out of a hole here. The late barracks just started a crescendo of unfortunate events here for Marts. Alright, but might just be able to clean this. Have a good micro. Has the blacksmith. Hasn't researched fletching yet, but certainly he's going to need that. Meanwhile, Tricky ready to send some archers of his own off in that direction. That's a good engagement there for Tricky. Yeah, look at what when they do catch the skirms, how quickly those men-at-arms just shred through them. Yeah, Marts is housed here as well. Wants to go to stone. Again, wants to sell the stone for faster uptime. I think you're Tricky. Get those reinforcements forward, man. Got the fletching. You know where your opponent is because your opponent's been tracking the men-at-arms. That's a situation where I think you can feel safe to send the archers forward in the knowledge that fletching will arrive on your way there. Look at this. Marts is going to make a counterattack of his own. 5 skirms, 4 archers in the mix. Make it 6 archers. No fletching for him yet. That is a fight Tricky could definitely win, but man, he's playing very defensively here. Look at this though, the food count. 17 farms, 17 on food here for Tricky. 5 on food for Marts. So at least if things hold like they are at present, I think Tricky is going to have a much faster castle age time than his opponent. 11 archers. Going to be up against 5 skirms, 7 archers here. Fletching is in for Marts as well, so this could be actually be a nice engagement for him. He's going to get right on that gold. Tricky hasn't noticed. He has a house here, but didn't notice. Archers are still garrisoned inside the ranges. 1 vill down, 2 vills down. Ooh, great counterattack so far here from Marts. Looking like it's going to be Tricky's fight here, and indeed it will be. The panic defensive tower coming down. Tricky actually came out of that all right. Still has a villager lead. Certainly going to be the first to Castle Age. And, yeah, back on gold. Third range coming down here from Marts. Third range with 0 villagers on gold. I guess wants to stick with the skirm build. But, I mean, yeah, not playing archers though. You definitely lose out on that delicious building attack bonus. Market coming down here for Tricky, who is on the way to Castle Age. Marts, not so much. Where are all these archers here for Tricky? Alright, he's just, yeah, playing really defensively. I think he's going to be content to get up. I think he's definitely going to want to move those archers here pretty soon so that he can get that expo upgrade about the time he arrives at his opponent's base. But yeah, I think he's going to be able to push Marts completely off of this outside area. Basically pin him like a rat inside the starting position. His gold is just so absolutely crucial. Right, these 2 golds. For yeah, making that transition into Castle Age. Right, pre-tower coming down here from Marts. He's worried about archers coming from the left as his own units move around to the right. Alright, what happens here though? I mean, Marts is about to see his opponent go to hit Castle Age. Does he turn around? Or does he try to find those archers before the expo upgrade comes in? Looks like he's going to get a Wallingville here. 1 Wallingville. Tricky's 15 seconds from expo. Don't take the fight right now. Don't take the fight right now. Oh, no. Alright, expo's in, Bodkin's in. And yeah, now this should be a good fight here for Tricky. Nice micro there by Marts, though. Nice split. And Marts has clicked. Golly, I honestly can't believe that. But no, I can, because he's Saracens. And they have a magic market. Lack of ballistics, allowing Marts to move like this without any consequence through Tricky's base. He's going to give chase here. Getting that second TC to protect that gold. Another Vils goes down there for Tricky. It's a really nice counterattack here by Marts. Getting so much value out of these units. And it's not just the Vil kills, but he's keeping Tricky's army at home instead of breathing down his neck. And so that power spike is going to be really well neutralized, because by the time Tricky gets over there, Marts will be in Castle Age. Reinforcements of his own. It's interesting. Marts going for bloodlines. Cav Archer? Would explain the 3 ranges. Is a map I do... There are some things I really like about Cav Archer here. It's right. You have the mobility to go in both directions. Let's see if that's what we get. Third TC come down here for Tricky, so he ain't messing around with that. Alright, actually we're getting a knight here from the stable. Skirms continuing to be produced as well here. Yeah, I don't like this by Tricky. This is just too defensive. Your opponent way too much breathing room. Yeah, okay. So it's not going to be Cav Archer here by Marts. It's going to be Elite Skirmisher. Second TC coming down here from Marts. Wants to have safe access to that gold. Yeah, both these players can tend to play this really defensively at the moment. Alright, there it is. There's the counterattack we've been waiting for. Tricky with a 1k score lead here. That might slightly overstate the kind of lead he has. He's only 5 villagers up. Does have a better military. And yeah, remember that I was complaining about this woodline earlier. This woodline actually could be in danger. Oh, this is really fortunate for Marts. He decides to go to the left instead of to the right. He's going to scout out this army just in the nick of time. Here come the skirms. So this could be a good little pinch here for Marts. Doesn't have ballistics though. So with good micro, Tricky should be able to avoid that. Yep, and it looks like he's going to be able to get back safely. Alright, a lot of skirms in the field here. So if you're Tricky, you got to be thinking either forward siege or some knights of your own. Let's see if he has similar thoughts. Double monastery. Double monastery. Maybe he's thinking Marts is going to go heavier into knights than he really is. I like that outpost there for Tricky. Take a look at his vision. Got great vision here. Oh, is he going to notice the knights? Yep, sees it just in time. Here comes a defensive siege workshop. It's the monk out. No insta conversion, but those knights can't really do too much with all these skirms in the field. Okay. Oh no, Mart's losing a lot of units there for free. They're just wandered into the fire. Is he gonna win this fight? He is. Oh, that's wild. I mean, obliterated that military. Alright, Tricky gets conversion as well. This is looking incredible for Tricky. Incredible. Look at the military count. 36 to 10. He's up 11 villagers. Tricky gonna take the Division E belt. In a great position to do so. How are things looking at home here for March? Still on 2 TC. Looking to get a siege workshop of his own. He's worried about that counterattack. Speaking of which. Tricky, don't be so defensive here. Get a good clear. Exploit that. Yeah. Exploit that numbers advantage. Alright, but he is going to counterattack. Just wanted to get a few bandages, some ointments on the wound there from the monks. He's going to push forward now with 34 archers.
Yes.
Ballistics almost here. +2/+2 on those archers. Alright, Marts has Mango out though. Can Marts get some good shots here? Alright, some really good micro here by either of these players could really change the game. Alright. There's only +1 armor on these skirms at the moment. They're not doing awesome. The Mangonel just now coming in. Ooh, okay. Only nails 1 archer. That could have been a lot worse there for Tricky. 1-for-1 there between the two mangonels. Ooh. Oh, shot to the face. This is a great fight so far here from Marts. He's cleaning this up. Yeah, I think Tricky just waited a little too long in the counterattack. Gave Marts a chance to mass these numbers up again. Now Tricky's army is basically gone. He's getting raided at home by a knight. The military number basically identical. The bill number basically identical. So that one fight there, completely swinging the game for Marts. I mean, he is very much back in this game. This game's basically even at this point. Maybe slight advantage here for TrickyMicky with 3 TC instead of just 2, and also dropping a castle here in a moment. That's a great castle too. Up on that hill. That's gonna go up just in time. Deal with these skirms. Raids are continuing though. Tricky hasn't noticed it. No, I guess he has. He has Ville's garrison in there. Tricky is on the way to Imperial Age though. Needs to keep the... Yeah. Just keep working on getting a good expo mass that he can upgrade to Arbalist. Got a healthy eco though. A little short on gold. Get on some more gold here. Yeah, this night push just hasn't stopped. 2 relics in the bank is well there for Tricky. Right, Imperial on the way as well here for Marts. Be about a minute and a half behind Tricky. Castle of his own. Alright. Yeah, we're kind of just waiting here. Calm before the storm. See how Tricky responds when he gets up to the Imperial Age. Ooh, I like this. A castle on the other side as well. So, maybe some nice protection here for Tricky. That'll allow him to feel a little bit more confident as he pushes forward. Arbalist upgrade on the way. Only 20 archers at the moment. I like these houses here by Tricky. Provides you some really nice visibility. You can know immediately which way your opponent is heading. In this case, the skirms and the mangonels are going to go to the east. Meanwhile, Tricky is going to push from the west here, so these mangonels are going to be drastically out of position. This should be pretty good for Tricky. Here we go. 1 mangonel out on the field. 22 Arbalist. Oh, that's a nice mangonel shot, though. Chemistry on the way. That'll certainly help a lot. Counterattack on the other side here. Marts with mangonels, knights, skirmishers. Alright, what does Tricky do here? Does he try to kill some of these houses, break in on that base? Got some more vills going down here from Marts. Tricky's losing a ton under the castle. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no, I can't watch this. But I can't look away either. Oh, disaster. Yeah, that smells to me like Tricky was probably managing something at home. disaster. His army's gone. His army is gone. Does have some reinforcements coming forward with Trebs, but he's gonna need to keep those alive. The worry is that with these skirms here, they can kill the Arbalists protecting the Trebs. Maybe Marts can dive on it with some knights. Guard tower for Tricky. Man, I hope we see Yasuma. He's gonna go for the keep upgrade as well. I think he is gonna try to go for Yasuma. Yasuma can be an excellent, excellent means of map control on a map like this. Alright, meanwhile on the other side, Tricky's got a hanging out patrolling. Skirm's coming forward. Is he gonna see it? Is he gonna see it? Oh, he's gonna try to get a castle here. Some serious damage from that castle. Boy, these castles have been putting the hurt on these two players in the last few minutes. Skirm's making a dive, but he's not really a raiding unit. They're not gonna be able to do very much. Camel, that's maybe a bit more of an issue. Checking on this side with the Treb War. Nice repair work here by Tricky. There's some skirms hanging around. It'd be nice to see those Arbalists get in the fight as well, and it looks like they will be. 2 Trebs on the field here from Marts. Oh man, Tricky's gonna get the castle up. Send the other bills. Send the bills. Oh, please. Alright, it's up. It is up. And this one is getting very close to being down. Keep is in. I haven't seen any unique tech come in. Alright, the stone is now gone for Marts. He cannot repair that any longer. Looking better and better here for Tricky. 10-ville lead. Twice the military. A lot more map control. Ooh, he's gonna lose a Treb. Nice. Nice snipe there by Marts on that Treb. And these Trebs are absolutely essential right now for Tricky, because this is really his only way of advancing forward is with the Trebs. Castle, 327 HP. Alright, buying some stone here is Marts to repair it. Got a gazillion Trebs of his own. All he wants to do is take this Treb out. Is he going to manage to do it before the castle goes down? Yes, he will! Excellent, excellent defense here by Marts. Really nice save. What is going on this side? Arbalists, Trebs pushing on this side as well. Let's see if Tricky can continue dropping the Yasuma towers. Continuing to crawl forward, getting himself some good map control. Not sure about this tower. With all these Trebs from your opponent out here. Tricky needs something else. I don't remember if Japanese had bombard cannons. I thought they did not. So that's not an option. Maybe... Maybe a few knights, maybe onager. Sorry, I am really struggling. I'm really struggling to stay awake here. Not because of this game. This game is excellent. Excellent game. Ooh, another Treb snipe there. But I have had very, very little sleep this week. For the crazy work schedule. And it is very late here, so I am hanging by a thread here. Ooh, Like this, another tower here for Tricky, but those trebs are going to take all these out. Tricky just has no way to deal with these trebs right now. Yeah, needs Onager perhaps, or some cav units of his own. Oh, look at this! Yeah, Marts needs that gold. He needs that gold, and Tricky is on that gold. Marts hasn't even noticed yet, hasn't responded. Trying to move forward. Continue the push on this side. But, yeah, he's lost his gold there. What else does he have for gold? Where's he taking gold? Has a gold pile there. A little bit left there. Oh no, he doesn't know. He's sending reinforcements to their death. Oh, disaster. Oh, he's getting mowed down. Machine gun arbalist here. Alright, but looking good for Marts on this side. Again, these trebs. Tricky needs some way to deal with them. And a Hussar spam now for Marts. That's a lot of siege workshops here. And yeah, it's going to be Rams. Capped Rams here for Tricky. He's also getting armor for Cav, so I think maybe thinking about adding Cav as well. Yeah, Ram Arbalist push here, Ram Hal push. We have a couple options, just not that many arbs left anymore. For Tricky. Yeah, just checking out with these boys, seeing how they're doing. Still camping the gold. Like to see them push forward. Things are soft right there for Marts. Military numbers for the two players is still just really low. Like 21 military on the field for Marts, 47 for Tricky. I think that's what's the main reason these players are having trouble pushing each other. It's just the low military numbers. It's a lot of Rams though. I like this. Those are going to soak up the skirm fire. They're going to take out the trebs. This is a really nice play here by Tricky. Yeah, look at this. The trebs are absolutely evaporating. The skirms just tickle those things. Holy crap, that's a lot of Rams. That is a lot of Rams. And look at this. We've got Light Cav upgrade, Bloodlines, Husbandry coming in here for Tricky. Wants to add some raiding units of his own. Meanwhile, on this side, the Arbalists are indeed pushing forward. Marts has finally noticed. This is pinching. This is pinching. Tricky is inching closer and closer, taking this division. Things are getting pretty desperate here for Marts. He's out there fighting with villagers. Castle. The castle will go down. There it goes. Alright. There it goes. Villager advantage right now for Tricky, but still over 100 here for Marts. Look at this, Tricky's pop cap. Marts only at 130 units right now. Yeah, now Tricky's finally got some units out that deal with the skirms. Got the light cav. There it is. GG. Well played from Marts. Well played indeed. Wow, that was a great game. That was a really great game. I'm sorry I couldn't bring the energy to it that it deserved, because that game definitely deserves some hype. That was a great game. I really do feel for Marts though, because I think so much turned on this barracks. This barracks coming up late. I think Marts just forgot the barracks. And that just really delayed his ability to get units out. By the time he got those ranges out, He had no way to get access to his gold with the Man-at-Arms there, and so was forced to go into skirms right off the rip. And his eco was really suffering from not having access to the berries out front, from the market getting delayed. And yeah, everything just kind of snowballed from there. There were a few points where it looked like the tide maybe was about to turn, right? There was that one fight over here in Castle Age Tricky took. That went really poorly for him. And suddenly military numbers were even, villager numbers were even. But Tricky with more TCs just had better map control, got those castles down, right? Was on stone earlier. And, you know, used that as a foothold to just gradually push from. And yeah, it took a little while to figure out the right composition there, but I think once he added those rams, especially once he added the light cav, the floodgates kind of spilled open. And then of course the push on this side, this gold was just, that was a bloodbath. And I didn't even realize Tricky had a Treb over here. Just all alone, not a single unit to protect it. Full YOLO Treb. Yeah, wow. Much better eco. I mean, look at this. One in every category. I mean, that's where all those castles are coming from. But yeah, about 20k more res than his opponent. All right. Well, congratulations to Tricky. Congratulations to Marts as well. Excellent showing throughout this tournament. So yeah, that will conclude this season for Division A. TrickyMicky taking the belt, and yeah, not sure exactly when the next season will be. Not sure if it's been announced by Trashmaster yet. Trashmaster, the host of this tournament, and the tournament again is the AOE Leagues tournament. Originally started by Farmman Official, who yeah still runs the Discord that hosts the tournament, and then I. Mr. Beaver, or Philosopher King, I host the 2v2 league for AOE Leagues. And yeah, the next season of that will be starting up probably late October, maybe the first week of September. So yeah, anyone interested in a 2v2 tournament, we've got, you know, places for people of all elos. We've got players, you know, in the 2K 1v1 range, teamed up together in the top division and lower divisions. We've got players at about 1,000 elo, sometimes players under 1,000 elo. So spot for everybody. Anyway, yeah, be advertising that. You'll see it on AOE Zone and other places, and certainly on the Discord if you're already there. But yeah, without much further ado, that'll do it for me tonight. I need to hit the hay because I am hanging by a thread here. All right. We'll see you guys later.